Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Elevate Your Life podcast. My name is Paul Croto. I'm here with the amazing Cheryl Morley.
Hi, super excited to be here. Excited about what we're talking about today, Paul.
I am too. So we always have a series of, every single day of the week, we have a different topic. And on Tuesdays, we always worry about mindset. We're always focused on mindset and improving your mindset, elevating your mindset on Tuesdays. So today is a great topic, Cheryl, as you mentioned. Success. In order to be successful, you got to be at the right place, the right time, doing the right action. So it's those three things in a row that it takes to be successful.
It's kind of a tongue twister.
Yeah. Well, we've been having a series. This is kind of the last video of the series that we've been doing. So you can go back and watch past videos. We did 4 already on this concept of the mindset behind a business. And just to be clear, we have 2 great Facebook groups to join. There's the Elevate Tribe Facebook group that you can see these videos in. You can also get great content from Cheryl. Her passion in life is helping women move from fine to fabulous. So that's an unbelievable Facebook group, Fine to Fabulous Facebook group. Join that today. If you're a female, guys, you can't do that. It's not allowed. I tried, trust me. I try to put wigs on and do all kinds of things to get in, but I keep on getting rejected. So just how the cookie crumbles.
That's right. Us
All
ladies.
right, Cheryl, let's talk about the 5 keys to a business mindset. What's number 1?
Number 1 is you have to believe that you are the boss.
You have a problem with that, Cheryl?
I like the sound of it. I like the sound of it. I'm not sure about all the stuff that comes along with it, but I do like the sound of it.
Yeah. There really is nothing, in my opinion, of feeling like the boss. Like you're in control of things that, I love the Frank Sinatra song, My Way. At the end of the game, at the end of life, like I did it my way, and not followed somebody else. But people who are entrepreneurs out there know what I'm talking about. It just feels great. Yeah. Even if you fail or if things don't go right, it's still, you did it your way. And I think that makes all the difference in the world. But there's 2 kinds of mindset, Cheryl. There's the owner's mindset, the business owner's mindset, and then there's the employee mindset. And I know you've been on both sides of the fence. What kind of transition have you had to go through to go from being an employee mindset over to being the owner mindset?
It was a bit of a change. I always felt like the boss, Paul, even when I wasn't. And sometimes, and I kind of discovered really early on that I had a hard time with people telling me what to do. And so I kind of knew from early on that, oh my goodness, I better figure this out and become the boss, which is it's a progression, right? It's a journey. It really is. But the great thing is if that's something that you want to do, then you can do it. That's my favorite thing about it, right? So it's
absolutely
been fun.
And it's just the problem we see in people running a business is that they've been employees so long in their life that, and this is a saying that may or may not be true for you, but owners pretend to pay you and employees pretend to work. So it's everyone's kind of pretending. And if you're just have the employee mindset that I'm just going to do enough so I don't get fired, you're never going to be successful in business. So you got to take extreme ownership that I am the boss. It's all up to me. If this is going to make it, I'm going to make it work. And it is a big shift to have that kind of mindsets, but that's number 1. Number 2, Cheryl.
Number 2 is you have to follow a proven plan.
Yeah. And this is something we've gone through again in a recording in the past. You can go back and listen to that, but every business has got a different plan. Cheryl and I own the Institute of Holistic Health. We have a very straight plan to follow. If you want to be a holistic health coach, we teach you exactly what to do. It's kind of like that McDonald's analogy, Cheryl, where you don't buy a McDonald's franchise so you can change things around. You're buying it because it's a proven path to success.
Correct. And I love that because I think the good thing about that, Paul, is that it kind of puts your mind at ease. You don't have to try to figure everything out, right? That's what I love about the Institute, that everything's kind of there for you and it is a proven path. So yeah. I love that.
Another way, so if you're out there confused right now, like I don't really know what the proven path is, I know what I want to do, but I don't know how to get there, go find someone who's already doing it or already made it. Hey, Mary, how did you do that? I would love to know how you made it to become this great chef or this great whatever that they are. They can tell you the steps that they took to get there. So modeling is a great way to find out what the path really is for your profession. Number 3, Cheryl.
Yes. You have to blow through all of your mindset limits.
Oh.
Wow. Everybody has them, right? Everybody has mindset limits. Every single person, we bang up against something, right? And so if you can figure out, I guess, that your mind is not your friend, which I never knew, and get over those blocks that you're having, I think that all of the things can happen in your life, all of the dreams, all of the visions that you have for your own life can just all come true.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes it takes a little bit to figure out what those blocks are, those roadblocks are. But once you do, you can blow through them. So you have to take a little bit of time and say, what is really the limiting belief that I have that I'm not good enough? Or what is your subconscious mind saying? And it's kind of difficult at times to listen to it and to understand what it's exactly saying, because it's all happening subconsciously. So you want to ask, do I feel like I'm not worthy? Do I feel like a lot of people go into business and they just think, I'm going to give it my best try. And you'll never succeed with that attitude. So it's a limiting belief that I'm not sure I'm actually going to do this or not, or it's going to work out. So that's a limiting belief. You just have to go into the mindset that this is going to work. I expect to win. And, when you go from that mindset of playing to play to playing to win, I think your whole life changes, Cheryl.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And if you make a deal with yourself, like I did years ago, that I'll do whatever it takes, then that makes a big difference too.
Yeah, absolutely. Great tip. So let's go on to number 4, Cheryl.
Okay. You have to identify and honor the math of the business.
I know you
so
love
there's
math
in every business. Well, hey, it was something I was kind of good at, so I do like it in school. But it's just, it's great to know that there is math in every single business. So it's just numbers, right? And if you know what the numbers are, then I think you can be so much more successful.
Yeah. And every business, like you said, Cheryl, has numbers. Those of you been following the podcast along know I own a franchise, a Greek restaurant franchise. There's numbers behind a restaurant. You got to have, this much employee cost, this much food cost, this much admin cost. There's 3 sections that everything gets broken down to, and those things better be at certain percentages, or you're going to have a profit of nothing, which I've managed to do, Cheryl. So it's amazing when you have $1 million business and they're like, well, 30% is going to go to payroll, 30% is going to go to food, and 30% is going to go to admin costs. So you get 10%. Wow, this is great, $100,000. But they don't tell you that very easily it can go from 33% payroll, 33% food cost, and 33% admin cost, which leaves you with 1% profit, which is $10,000. So you got to really watch the math and honor the math. That's just one example of one business. But even with being a holistic health coach, there's numbers and the math behind it. And we have something called the Power of One business plan that shows you how you can build a multi-million-dollar business right online by following these proven steps, by following the math. We're not making any income claims. We're just saying this is simple math. Do the math.
Yep. I love that. I love that. Okay. And then the last one, Paul, is
number 5.
You have to, what?
Number 5.
Number 5, you have to put yourself in the right place, do the right thing in the right order at the right time so that you can get the right results. That's kind of a tongue twister, Paul.
Yeah, I'm glad you read that, not me, because that's a real tongue twister. So what does that mean to you, Cheryl? If you can do all
those things, you're set.
What does that mean to you?
Well, I think the thing that comes to mind very first is, that if an opportunity presents itself, then you need to make the decision if you're going to take it or not, and be open to the idea that it could be the best thing that's ever happened to you in your life, right? Instead of just, oh, no, I don't like that. I know about that business already. I don't like it. Or, oh, I had a friend that tried that and it didn't work. Or, oh, I tried that a long time ago. It didn't work. Instead of that, you have to be open to the idea that, hey, and we're all at different places than we used to be, right? And so something that didn't work a year ago could be like the best thing that's ever happened to you in your life now, right? And so I think and I think really too, Paul, that the better you know yourself, right? And as you get to know yourself better, you're going to know, what the right place is for you and what you need to do, the right thing for you to do, and make sure, all of those rights, I think sometimes can be a little bit overwhelming, but I think too, that having a mentor can really be helpful with getting those things right.
Yeah.
So that you can really, be successful and feel successful in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. I also think it has to do with really watching the world and seeing what's going up and what's going down and where the right place to be is. So like, let's just take being a real estate agent, great profession. But if it's 2008, it's the worst profession. There's the housing crash. So you can be at the right profession at the wrong time and be a massive failure. So you look at today, it's 2022. What is the profession that's exploding? Well, what Cheryl and I have found is that a few people now care about their health. Go figure. I don't know how that happened, but all of a sudden, health is an important topic. So that's why the Institute of Holistic Health is just exploding with new coaches and new clients, because everyone's looking for a way to stay healthy. And we know that there's going to be COVID-20 and COVID-21 or whatever new thing they come up with. You got to make sure that you are strong. And that's what our coaches specialize in, is helping people become strong. And when people are strong, problems disappear. It's absolutely true. It doesn't matter what problem shows up. If you're strong inside, you'll be fine. So it's just finding the right profession to be in right now, Cheryl, that makes all the difference in the world. And we just happen to believe that health and wellness is the ultimate profession to be in at this moment.
Yes, I agree.
But Cheryl, what causes problems in business?
Well, I think the first one is procrastination, right?
There's always tomorrow, Cheryl.
Yeah, I think that's a big one. I think that I heard that somewhere that one of the biggest problems people have is thinking that they have enough time.
Yeah.
Right. Thinking that they have enough time, and I don't, I completely agree with that. Right.
Yeah. John Maxwell wrote a book called Today Matters that changed my life. I just keep telling myself today matters. You just can't say, well, I'll do it tomorrow. No, it's today, and I love watching Rocky 3 when Adrian tells Rocky, there is no tomorrow, it's got to be today. Like tomorrow, we'll do it tomorrow. Like, no, there is no tomorrow. So having that kind of mindset and that we're doing it today, and this is you don't have any control over the past. You don't have any control over the future. Today is all you got. So let's make today count and real, I think we talk about awareness all the time, Cheryl, that we you just were talking about procrastination, about getting into the cold plunge. I got to go check the inventory to see what expired, or, what are some of the things that you did to procrastinate?
Yeah, that was one of them. I walked around looking for like a different speaker to hook my phone up to, even though there was one sitting right out by the door. Yeah. I checked the temperature a few times.
Check your email.
I thought, check my email, check my text. Like I went out there and like put my finger in it and turned around and walked back in and said, I think I'm just going to stay in here for a few more minutes. And then I realized like what I was doing, and I'm like, get out there.
Yeah. You had the awareness that, listen, everything you're doing is procrastination.
Yeah. Get out there. Now's the time. Right now is the time. There's no better time than right now.
Yeah. Super great. All right. What's the next problem people have in business, Cheryl?
Well, Paul, is that magical thinking. Oh my gosh, I love this. So, this is my year. This is going to be different. it's going to be completely different than it was last year. And I am so excited. I mean, I've set all these fantastic goals and oh my gosh, I cannot wait because I mean, this is the year I'm going to blow the top off it. And it's so funny because it's like, really? Well, what are you going to do? Oh, hey, listen, same thing I have been doing. Yeah, just going to do a little more of it. And I'm going to be more excited about it. Right? How can that even be?
Or they say, listen, Cheryl, it's just going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
This isn't going to happen. You know, it's not, this isn't magic. This is, now Cheryl and I are 1000% behind positive thinking.
Yeah.
But there's positive thinking and then there's magical thinking that this is just going to happen all by itself. Go have a seat on the couch. Just because I'm thinking positive, it's going to happen. It doesn't work that way. You should have that.
I would love it though. I would love that, Paul.
Listen, I would like to magically make a lot of things appear and disappear in my life, but just magic is not real.
Me too. Oh, Paul, the next one. The next one, I think that the women that I've worked with and the women that I am working with, this is the hardest one. It's a really hard one for us, but it's comparison. So it's comparing yourself or, you know, whatever business you have to others. And you can't do that. And that was a hard lesson for me to learn. It was a hard lesson.
It is. And it's actually, I believe the opposite is true, that the whole goal of business is to be different than everybody else. You know, so if you see some kind of thing in common between you and your competition, you got to stop doing that and do something different. That's what's going to separate you from everybody else. So, but it's natural to do this. You know, I found some people out there, some guys that I like, well, I'm going to compare myself to him or, you know, or her, or whatever. And they're on different paths in life. You know, I got into a real bad place because John Maxwell had written 100 books and I wrote 0 exactly. So I'm like, wow, I'm like way behind on the book thing, but
at least you can count them, Paul.
Yeah. But that's, you know, that's me comparing to his road. I don't regret anything on my road. I'm doing a lot of great things. Things are going awesome in my business. So, and am I writing a book? Yes. But is my road or my purpose that God had me or put me on this earth for to write 100 books? Maybe not. Maybe just write 1 or 2 books or something, or if any, you know, so it's just really, getting away from the comparison thing and following your path, being true to yourself.
Yes.
I think that's the key.
That's right.
Next one's good, Cheryl.
Well, I know, but I have to say one more thing, that nobody's like you. And you are here to make a difference. And you have a different heart, a different destiny, and a different purpose than anybody else. And so, and I love that. That's what I always like to try to remember. So the next one, oh my goodness. The next one is blaming. Blaming. I know this one is so interesting to me because I think when you first said, okay, now, and this was a while ago, but you're like, okay, now, so we don't blame anything on anyone. We always look to ourselves first for the blame. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? But it's not my fault. Yeah, but it's not my fault. And you're like, no, it is your fault. This is how, you know, and we like kind of went over it and I was like, who on earth would do something that dumb? Like blame everything on themselves. But then you're like, no, it's extreme ownership. And I love it now. I love that because now anytime something happens, I look like, okay, well, what was my part in it? What did I, you know, I'm going to be responsible for it because I'm the boss. I'm the one doing it. This is my business. And so, but what it really helped with for me is that the buck stops here. So that's it.
Yeah. When we talk about mindset, Cheryl, we talk about what the mindset we have today really came from our childhood. And I know, you know, during most people's childhood, sometime along the way, you heard something like, oh, it's not your fault. Stop blaming yourself. Like a good friend of yours or someone would say that to you, which in my opinion is the worst thing you could say to someone, because as soon as you blame something else, you've given up the ability to do anything about it.
Yeah.
You know, so even if it's not your fault, by saying it is, what could I have done different? Maybe, or what could I do different in the future? Or what can I learn from this? You know, so it just, there's so many things valuable to taking that ownership of it and not just getting out of the habit of blaming, because at the end of the day, it's you and the person in the mirror. And that's the only person you can blame is you.
Yeah.
What's the next problem people have in business, Cheryl?
Well, Paul, it is being in a red state of mind.
A
Oh
red, like my
my
shirt? What do you
gosh.
mean by that, Cheryl?
Well, it's all about managing your emotions, right? That's what it's all about. You have to be in control of your mind and your emotions. And remember what I said a couple of minutes ago. Your mind is not your friend, which I always thought it was.
Mhm.
And I was like, listen, we're in this together. You want exactly what I want. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I know it's so interesting because the first time I heard that, I'm like, well, that sounds kind of weird to me. Like, what do you mean my mind is not my friend? And oh, but believe me, once you start getting into like mindset and doing like some of the mind work that we've done, I'm just like, oh my goodness, that's absolutely true. Right? Because your mind wants to stop you for just one little part of it. Your mind wants to stop you from doing anything that it sees as dangerous. Right? So believe me, that could be picking the phone up. Oh,
Right.
that's dangerous, right? And so you have to realize that and know that. But when you do, I think it becomes so much easier to manage your emotions. I mean, yeah, I think for myself, let's just not drive in rush hour traffic.
What those negative triggers are.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Yes.
Yeah. So Cheryl and I always talk about having a breakthrough. So let's just say you're stuck in life right now, your business is stuck or whatever. How do you have that breakthrough? How do you get through this time where you feel stuck? Number one is always change your state. You got to get into a better state because that state you're in is probably why you're in the situation you're in now. So you got to change your state. You got to know how to do that. Second of all, you got to change the story. There's some sort of limiting story that's going on in your brain or limiting belief that is causing you to hit that roadblock. And then last but not least, you want to look at the strategy. Again, we talk about that proven path. Am I actually doing the strategy? But it doesn't matter if you're doing the strategy or not. If you're in a red state, like Cheryl mentioned, you got to be in the green yes state. Or if you have a bad story in your mind, a limiting belief, it doesn't matter how much action you take or how well you follow the strategy, you're never going to be successful. Because in the back of your mind, you're just like, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. I'm not good enough. Whatever it is that you're saying to yourself is going to sabotage this whole thing from working the way it should.
Yeah.
So it's really about Cheryl
Absolutely.
saying, I'm in control of my emotions. And I think
Yes.
that was the big thing for me to know that, yes, there's 60,000 thoughts a day, but you can control the 60,000 thoughts you're thinking. So put good thoughts in your mind. And we love affirmations. We love listening to different audio things that are repetitive to constantly condition our minds to stay positive, stay in that green state there. And what's the final thing, Cheryl, that causes problems in business?
Well, it's not lifting your leadership lid. So it's really, to me, it's staying like right where you're at. It's not growing.
Yeah.
It's not becoming, learning more, doing more, especially when it comes to leadership. It's so, so, so important to every day, I think, work on your leadership skills.
Yeah. I mean, going back up to number 4, Cheryl, blaming. When it comes to your business, there's only one person to blame, that's you. And if you're asking, well, why is my business stuck here? It's because that's where you're at. You're the lid on the whole business. And your business will
Right.
never become better than you are. You can't be a 6 and have a 10 business. It just doesn't work that way. If you want to have a 10 business, you got to become a 10. And then you'll have a 10 business. So that's why we spend every Thursday doing Elevate Your Leadership. We want to create better leaders, because if there's one thing that will fix any business in the world, better leadership. Absolutely. So
Yep.
Let's go on to some closing questions, Cheryl, as we wrap up this podcast.
All right, perfect. So 3 closing questions. The first one, are you in the right place?
Now, there's no question asked, because we're going to be doing a podcast on Thursday called The Law of Trade-Offs. And, there's just times in your life where, you're in a good place, but you're not in a great place. So it may take giving something up right now that you've been doing for a long time, to have, that's good, to have something that's great. So
well, and Paul, that's absolutely right. And the way I look at it is a lot of times the thing is being comfortable. right? The thing you
Yeah.
have to give up is being comfortable.
Yeah.
And I think that that is hard. Of course it's hard. And, you know, but that trade-off could, you know, mean the world to you and to your family. So I love this whole idea of this leadership topic on Thursday is going to be so much fun. So, but that's really it right now. The first question is, are you in the right place? And that is, gosh, you know, I think sometimes, you know, you hear these questions and you're like, huh, I don't want to answer that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
'Cause
or you're
you
like,
don't want to know the answer. Yeah.
yeah,
But you know, you
absolutely.
just know when you are, because like you and I, we're in the right place right now. We know we're meant to make these podcasts. We know we're here to
Sure.
help people elevate their life. We know you're here to help women go from fine to fabulous. Like you're positive. That's why God put you on this planet. And it's
Oh
just
yeah.
getting really clear on, God, why'd you put me here? What is my true purpose? You know,
Yes.
and of course we feel like the right place right now is this Institute of Holistic Health. Becoming a certified health coach, in our opinion, is the right place, because you're going to get healthy yourself. You're going to help other people get healthy. And it's the most growing, fastest growing industry in the world right now. So,
Well, I just think, Paul, too, it's because people need us. I really
yeah,
believe that,
they do.
you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. So number 2 is, second question, is now the right time? And Paul, I think you just kind of
Yeah.
explained
It's a trick
that,
question.
especially
Yeah.
for us, that it is, you know, it absolutely is the right time. I'll say this, there has never been a better time.
Yeah. And this goes back to that example I was using with the housing. Is now the right, you know, in 2008, if it was 2008 today, it would now be the right time to sell homes. No, this is not the right time. So you got to watch the market again. So again, the health and wellness industry this is the time for that right now. And then Cheryl, last but not least, even you got your business, you know what you want to do with the purpose of your life. What's the third and final question you need to ask yourself?
Are you taking the right actions?
Yeah.
Which is very important. We have been learning over the past few weeks. And I think we know that. I think sometimes it's hard to know what they are. So that path, you know, is something that's very important. But I think as long as people know what that, you know, what the right things are and the right actions to take, then I think it makes it so much easier.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we meet with our holistic health coaches every Monday and do a little review. You know, are you taking the right actions? You know, what went good? What actions did you take that were good? And what actions did you not take, or what actions did you take but didn't work out the way you wanted it to? And then make those little adjustments. So it's always a great question to ask. Are you taking the right actions? Those are great questions, Cheryl.
Yes, I love those.
All right. Awesome, everybody. This was a great topic on having the mindset of a business. And we're going to be jumping into a new topic next Tuesday, but continue listening to us, following this podcast, and we'll continue helping you elevate your life and moving from fine to fabulous.
Yes.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Cheryl.